I was most fascinated with the prophecy of Kalki. Puranas describe Kalki as an avatar who appears at the end of Kali Yuga. He is said to end the darkest, most chaotic times of Kali Yuga and restart a new cycle of time. In the Hindu mythology, the trinity is all-powerful. Bramha is the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer. The 9 avatars of Vishnu have been the most fascinating, deeply influencing the culture of India for thousands of years. Vishnu has been the preserver, but there are times when he manifests himself as the destroyer. Especially in the 10th avatar, Lord Kalki, he is bound to come to end the age of darkness or the Kali Yuga. What fascinated me the most about Kalki was that he is this merciless and all-powerful leader who has to come on earth to destroy the evil forces. That's what fascinated me. And I decided to take on this challenge to bring out Kalki in an avatar that nobody had ever thought about before. It is believed that the Kalki Purana was written as a response to the barbaric invasions by the foreign invaders from Central Asia. These invaders were the Huns and the Mongols. To end this brutal era, Vishnu had to appear on earth to destroy the enemy and restore a pure way of life. This formed the basis of my story. I had to work backwards. The first thing I had to do was create a Kali Yuga in my book that was practically the dark ages. I had to create an enemy that was undefeatable. For this, I visualized a character called General Jian, who is this merciless and bloodthirsty general who takes over the Chinese defense forces through a coup and then begins his onslaught on the world. In my story, I have also introduced an ancient mercenary cult called the Invisible Hand that is believed to have been created in the 12th century by none other than Genghis Khan, the brutal and ruthless conqueror. This cult has only one mission. They want to topple democracies and instate dictators, and they won't stop until they rule every single nation on the planet. But there has to be one man who rises above everything else to stop this reign of destruction. And that hero is Kalki. He has to destroy everything before he has to rebuild it. In my book, the story is set in the near future and not in the past, like most of the other mythological books. Kalki is born as a mortal as any one of us, but his origins are very painful, and he has to walk this path of self-discovery, unlocking godly powers, and ultimately he has to become the last avatar. To defeat the powerful enemies, Kalki has to bring back the Vanar Sena. Yes, the Vanar Sena. But in this era of science and technology, how would he do that? He creates machines in the form of gods. I call these machines the Vanaroids. With the Vanar Sena by his side, Kalki becomes the Masiha the world looks up to as a savior. So the last avatar is all about the choices Kalki makes in his life. Why does he decide to become a vigilante? And how does he plan to stop the evil forces by doing the impossible? He has to destroy those people and those terrorist organizations who wiped out the democracy, who killed the Union Cabinet and the Indian Prime Minister. How does he do it? So that is what the Age of Kalki trilogy is all about. On one side, you have these powerful villains and this ancient clan called the Invisible Hand, which is hell-bent on destroying the world. On the other hand, you have the powerful superhumans that China has created. And back home here in India, you have an ancient secret society called the Rudras, who are protecting the ancient Indian knowledge. Ultimately, it's a battle of good versus the evil. It's the ultimate battle. And Kalki has to rise above everything else to end it all. The question is, how is he going to do it? That's how the journey begins in the first book of the trilogy, The Last Avatar.